All right. Hi, good afternoon. Okay, not evening yet, I think. So, hi, good afternoon. Hi. Yeah, hi. So, anyway, so we don't wait for the others now. We just start the seminar immediately. All right. So basically, I'll just brief you what I'm going to go through today, as well as what you have to focus lah. Okay. So basically, today what I'm going to do. Okay. So first thing, I'll just tell you the important points lah. Okay. So important points without explanation. So no explanation here. I'll just roughly go through what is the thing important here. Okay, so in terms of your syllabus lah, okay, no theoretically explanation. So two, we'll go through format, which is the one I emphasize here. Okay, so I'll go through format, which is the main thing today lah, format stuff. Then the third one, exercises. Okay, so I'll brief you the format stuff, okay, from the beginning to the end, okay, everything. So from A to Z, then as well as your exercises. We'll go through exercises together and I'll show you, demonstrate to you how you deal with the questions like bahagian A, bahagian C, okay, especially these two bahagians. So bahagian B is more towards your own theoretically part lah, okay. So we'll go through whenever we have like extra time for the rest bahagian B stuff. Okay, so we won't go through objective today. So that is your personal effort because objective, you just circle and you just double check the answers based on one thing. So as well, we'll just go through and cover the Form 5 stuff without Form 4. So just to let you know lah. Alright. So before we officially start everything, right? We'll just go through, okay, how do you do revision? So whenever you do revision, right, few things you have to take note lah. Okay, in terms of your revision, I mean in science in the other subjects, most likely the same thing, but you have to know in science, right? Okay, first thing first, we don't look at textbook. No textbook, so you have the short notes with you. You just go through with the short notes only. No textbook, not even a single peek. Okay, just textbook. So the second one is what? Yeah, you don't go through textbook, then you go with the notes lah. You go with the notes, you go with the exercises. Okay, but take note, I'm asking you to go through the exercises, not asking you to write through, Go through means you look at the questions, you ask yourself whether I'm able to answer the questions or not. So if I can't answer the question, you look at the answer, you do comparison. It's like, I don't know how to do this question. Oh. Then I go with the answers. I read through the answers. Oh, I know already. Then you look the other question. Oh, this question, I know the answer. Then, okay, I proceed to the next question. So you just ask yourself, keep asking yourself whether I know the answers or not. Okay, because whenever you spend time on the exercises, right? If you spend a lot of time on writing, eventually you found out like you use a lot of time, but the things that you cover, right, is just a little bit. So just read through, you do comparison based on the exercise and answers in between. Just do comparison. Okay. Plus your objective as well. Okay, objective, you have to spend time. Like for each chapter, you randomly pick 20 questions. Okay, just circle, then you check answers. Okay, to test yourself on the comprehensive part lah regarding the chapter. Okay, so one more thing is what? Your past year. No past year, right? In that thing, I think no past year lah. Okay, so you just go through exercises, objective, and the note stuff. Okay, so as well, when we go talk about science, right? Eventually we have something to memorize. Yeah, we have something to memorize. Yes, you have to memorize what? Memorize the names. Okay, legume plants, the lactobacillus, microorganisms, the names, okay, like pneumonia, okay, the what is it called? Shingles, okay, the diseases, right? Go through the names. But you never memorize the theory, Theory part, try to understand. Okay, make sure you understand the theory instead of memorizing it. Because memorized theory doesn't help anything. You spend the memory in your brain, okay, to go through with those names will be better lah. So this is how you go through with that revision stuff lah. Okay, instead of like spending a lot of times doing nonsense stuff with a textbook. Okay, so do and don'ts is given. Okay, so so we shall start lah. Okay, regarding your important points. Okay, so I would like to highlight something before we go to the points or the notes here. Okay, when we talk about the points, right? Please make sure because you see, whenever I give points, I don't give highlights anymore because this is already summarized version. Okay, so what you can see is I'm giving stars. Okay, so 1 stars indicates read through. Okay, read through, know what is this thing. So 2 stars means like, oh, okay lah, this one has the importance here. So 3 stars means, okay, you need to memorize everything. Every important thing, it is 3 stars. So 2 stars means, oh, you have to memorize, okay, but not that deep. Okay, so the difficulty and the importance like step by step increasing lah, you can see. So from here, the first one, okay, that you have to go through is microorganisms. You have to know what is microorganisms. You have to know what is normal flora. Normal flora indicates that the microorganisms that is harmless or like bringing healthy stuff, okay, to human body. So you have to know what is normal flora. Okay, in case the question asks you to give examples of the normal flora microorganisms, so what you have to mention? Then you just mention lah, lactobacillus. This is the most common normal flora, okay, that we are going to use because later on when we talk about the benefit of having certain microorganisms, right, organisms, right, you can still say lactobacillus. We are still going to use this thing anyway. Okay, so talking about 3 stars, right? Okay, 3 stars is super important lah. So you have to know all the stuff in here like fungi, algae, uh, protozoa, bacteria, viruses. Know all these things here. Okay, including the size, the shape, but few things that you have to be focus more or and focus less lah. Okay, the first thing is the nutrition. Focus a little bit on the nutrition, habitat, as well as how they do reproduction. You focus a little bit on this. Okay, the rest, shape and size is like not so important lah. Just go through. Okay, so the stars one, you like pay more attention on this thing lah. Okay, the factors that affect the growth of microorganisms, even though it is common sense, even though it is common sense. Okay, but however, you have to go through all of these. Not the detail points, not the sub points, but the main points are okay. They are important because often coming out in your experiment. Okay, this is just to let you know whether whenever you see these kind of questions, right, which kind of answers you should have to deal with it. For example, okay, the question says like one, I keep it in humid, one, I keep it dry for the microorganisms. So impossible for you to say temperature stuff, ma. We have to deal with humidity. So you must know the actual factor that the question is asking. Okay, then useful microorganisms as well, you go through. Just go through with the useful microorganisms. And then, as I said, lactobacillus is going to be very, very active here. Just use lactobacillus. You can make beverages, you can say leather goods, so you see barangan kulit. Okay, as well as the rest. One more. Okay, not actually one, it's actually two. In terms of agriculture, right, remember one, Nitrobacter sp. Okay, this is connected to your chapter 2, which is the nitrogen cycle. So talking about Nitrobacter sp, right, this thing is going to increase nitrogen content in the soil. Okay, so we have one thing in the legume plants with the bacteria is so-called Nitrobacter sp. It will increase the nitrogen content in the soil. So this is the one important lah, the name. One more is your medicine, penicillium. Penicillium makes penicillin, okay, which is a kind of antibiotic. Just go through lah. Okay, just go through. And then ecoenzyme. Yeah, ecoenzyme as well. Ecoenzyme, important. Okay, so this one, right, will be coming out in your section C. You can just take note lah, section C stuff. The question asks you, what is the advantages and the disadvantages of using ecoenzyme? Then you can say, okay, remove odor, treat sewage, these kind of things lah. Okay, so in terms of an aseptic technique, this one 3 stars. The question asks you, how do you do something to prevent yourself from getting infected by the pathogens? Okay, so you have to say the sterilization, boiling, pendidih, antiseptic, disinfectant, radiasi. Okay, go through. The rest, right? They'll ask in objective. The content will ask in objective. So the content, make sure you know what is happening. Make sure you know some of the examples here. Okay, that's why I give you 3 stars, as you can see. Okay, section B, objective, they ask questions in this way. Okay, then in terms of an antibiotic, just go through. Antibiotic, they will ask antibiotic as well. Just go through. Antibiotic is what? It's a kind of thing that used to treat bacteria infection. Okay, so what is antibiotic resistance as well? You have to go through lah. Antibiotic resistance means whenever you cannot use your antibiotic to kill bacteria anymore. Okay, so what is the reason lah? You go through. Okay, so this one I give you 2 stars because very, very likely to come out either in your objective, either in your subjective. Okay, somehow it's quite popular lah. So you have to know what? You have to know the name of the diseases. Okay, kayak lah, athlete's foot lah, shingles lah, know the name, know the pathogen. which means what is the source that cause you to have this kind of diseases? Fungus, bacterium, virus, okay, to cause you to have certain diseases, okay, as well as their respective, okay, medicine. Okay, the medical treatment here, no need to go through with the name of that particular medicine. Just go through with the general term: antibiotic, antifungal, okay, antiviral. Just roughly go through with the general term instead of the detailed name lah. All right. So this is the thing important. Then, hey, we go to chapter two. Okay, talking about chapter two. Chapter two, the important thing is here. Okay, for the new joiners, here to inform you, 1 stars indicate a little bit important, 2 stars moderate, 3 stars super important. Okay, so what are the factors that affecting your balanced diet? This one I give you 2 stars. Okay, no need to memorize all, but you have to know at least 3 of them. The question asks you in terms of bahagian C or bahagian B, then you have to answer based on the certain reason that cause you to have this kind of like things to affect your diet lah. So one more thing is here, what is the causes or the reasons that cause you to have like certain diseases? Okay, so I mean the reason is given here. Okay, goiter because of lacking iodine. Okay, kwashiorkor happens because of lacking protein. Okay, scurvy because of vitamin C, rickets, calcium, marasmus, all. Okay, general nutrition lacking. So that's why you have marasmus lah. Okay, so like for your information, goiter means you have a big swollen thing, okay, on your neck. Okay, so that is why it's called goiter. Kwashiorkor, you see a kid, right? Okay, the hand and the leg is so skinny, but then the kid has a tummy. Okay, he has a tummy. That is so called kwashiorkor because of lacking protein. So talking about scurvy, right? Okay, your gum is bleeding. Okay, when your tooth gum is bleeding, right? Because lacking of vitamin C. Okay, talking about rickets, if you have rickets, right? Usually people leg like this one If you're having rickets, right, means your leg is become like this already. O-shaped leg. Okay, so it's called O-shaped leg lah. Because of lacking calcium. The last one is marasmus lah. Okay, the marasmus means the kid is like super super skinny until you can see his bone already. Because he's lacking general nutrition lah. Okay, this one is important actually, but they'll ask in objective. Okay, subjective rarely ask lah. Just go through. Okay, like a general concept lah. Okay, then konsep pinggan sihat Malaysia, as long as you are normal people like human being, then you know how to deal with the question. So calorific value, right? Important. They ask in experiment or they'll ask in your bahagian A, bahagian B. Anyway, they can ask. But the point is they'll give you formula. They will give you formula, so no need to memorize the formula here. Okay, we don't memorize formula in science. Question were given whenever it comes to calculation. Okay, then you have to know when the question give you this kind of experiment, your bahagian C compulsory question, right? You must know how to sketch this thing out. Okay, it's like the question asks you to say, hey, I want to do food test, I want to test what is calorific value of this particular food. Then you have to sketch this thing out with the respective name. Tripod stand, tripod stand, the stand lah, okay, the plasticine lah, okay, the toothpick lah, all the names you have to know at least lah, okay, generally. So, one more thing is this one. Okay, this one I give you 2 stars. Know the name of the diseases: obesity, anorexia nervosa, atherosclerosis. Okay, this one your Form 5 Chapter 5 cover as well. Okay, but it's okay. We just go through. Diabetes mellitus. Okay, high blood pressure. Know the names. Okay, and know the cause and know the effects. Okay, question will ask in this way. Here they ask you in bahagian B. Okay, bahagian B. So just read through. Then if the question asks you about the eating pattern, right? This one also as well, just like roughly go through a little bit. Because right, this one will come with where? Section C. Okay, the optional question. You have to choose one in between two, right? Okay, so from here the question will ask you, nowadays, okay, people are having mama culture in Malaysia. Okay, which the mama open for 24 hours. Okay, so which kind of things, which kind of reason or factors that is going to affect human eating pattern in Malaysian, okay, or among Malaysian. So you have to say the reasons here, lah. Okay, why mama is going to be not good, okay, to our health. You have to say, okay, because of the artificial colorings, okay, all the stuff here. Give some examples. Okay, you give some examples here. So I just read through lah because common sense ma. Okay, you have been to mama, you know how unhealthy mama is. Okay, no need to memorize anything here. Just read through. Okay, know the concept. So the nutrients required by plants, this one you save some effort. Okay, you save some effort. You have to know what is macronutrient and micronutrient only. Only the rest examples of macro and micronutrients and their respective functions, no need. Okay, you save your own effort. We don't spend time here. Even the question asking this kind of stuff, right? Okay, the like mostly lah. Okay, 1 mark. No need to spend so much effort for 1 mark lah. Not worth lah. Okay, but this one it worth a lot. This one it worth a lot. Okay, so you have to know when the plant is lacking some of the nutrition, what is happening. Okay, so for example, if the plant is lacking nitrogen, right, usually the leaf will appear yellowish. Okay, just tell yourself lah. Okay, lack of nitrogen means yellowish. Lack of phosphorus means alien. Lack of potassium means what? Means sick lah. Okay, so they have respective examples as well. No need to memorize anything here. Just to know that if you lack of nitrogen, the leaf appears yellowish. If you lack of phosphorus, the leaf will appear blue color, bluish, purplish. Okay, this kind of alien color lah, doesn't belongs to plant. So you see phosphorus, I give the third relatable term lah, called as alien. So talking about like potassium. Okay, if you talk about potassium, right, it means sick. Okay, means what? Means the leaf itself, right, it has a lot of spots. Okay, brown spots. So you can just examine, okay, whether it's legit or not. Okay, no need to memorize anything lah. Like the brown spots. Okay, so blah blah blah. Just the question asks you, okay, the plant has this kind of characteristics. What is the macronutrient that the plant is lacking? Okay, so you don't need to memorize all the details here. Just know, okay, what is the characteristics of certain lacking nutrition. Okay, so just like you have to know how to differentiate them lah. Okay, they'll ask in terms of the experiment. So talking about your nitrogen cycle, right? This one also 3 stars. 3 stars, super, super, super important. Okay, usually come out where? Come out in your section B and your objective. This one, objective and section B. Okay, nitrogen cycle. You have to know nitrogen cycle about what? Okay, the name of bacteria as well as the processes. Okay, know the process, know the bacteria. Okay, so we have 5 processes here. You have to know all of them. Okay, the know means what? Know in terms of, am I increasing the nitrogen in the soil or I'm decreasing the nitrogen in the soil? Okay, which kind of bacteria is involved? For example, lightning. Lightning, you're going to strike and then cause the nitrogen in your air become nitrogen ion, okay, nitrate ion lah, then into the soil. Okay, so, or else you can say that this one, legume plants. You see, this one is important. The second point, I highlighted to you, tumbuhan kekacang as in legume plants. This one is super, 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 super hot among all the exams, even in SPM. I don't know why they really, really like to ask kind of things, which related to your chapter 1, we have one thing called nitrogen fixing bacteria. Okay, nitrogen fixing bacteria. It has a name. It has a name that we went through just now. This one, Nitrobacter sp. This is also called nitrogen fixing bacteria. They are related, Okay, so your form 1, your form 5, chapter 1 and chapter 2, they are related. Okay, so you have to know, okay, Nitrobacter sp. Okay, it comes from where? Comes from a legume plants. So whenever the question asks you, hey, now my soil is lack of nitrogen, or so the leaf appears yellowish. Okay, correct or not? So they'll ask you what you have to do, which kind of plant you have to plant, okay, to increase the nitrogen content in the soil. Then you have to say, you have to plant legume plant. Okay, so to increase the nitrogen content in the soil. As well, you have to know, okay, when the animal die, okay, so it is being decomposed into ammonium compound. Okay, after decomposition happens, right, you have nitrification. Okay, know all the process, know all the bacteria name. All right, so we won't go through in detail here. I'm just telling you that this is important. Okay, so the importance here, based on your own common sense, you go through lah. No need to memorize stuff here. Okay, you spend effort on here. Okay, but the question will ask you, they'll ask you the importance of nitrogen cycle, but based on your common sense, you answer lah. You balance the oxygen content, right? You balance the atmospheric content. Okay, so you reduce the environment pollution. You make sure the plant can grow healthy. Common sense lah. Okay, so quality breeds. Okay, the question will ask you, what is quality breeds? What are the characteristics of quality breeds? Okay, they'll ask you something like this. So you have to say, lor, okay, we have 5 points here. You have to know at least three. Easy maintenance lah. Okay, high yield lor. Okay, so you can grow faster lor. Low cost lor. Okay, so all these kind of things go through 2 stars. Then the example of quality breeds, you can just take a cross lah. No need to go through the examples here. The question will ask you what is the examples of quality breeds in Malaysia. Won't. Okay, so you won't wait, you don't have to waste time here lah. Then the next one, okay, use of modern technology. Modern technology, you read through. Because right, somehow I don't know what kind of teacher they're like sort plug, okay, then they'll ask you these sort of questions, like ask you to give, hey, what is the modern technology we use to harvest the crops? Okay, so you have to say, lor, okay, like we use grinding machine, we use machinery like tractors, okay, to do these kind of things. Okay, read through, no need to memorize, just read through. Agencies in Malaysia, no need. Okay, 1 mark only. Pass. No need to spend on because they have nothing to relate, you know. Okay, MAFI, MARDI, MPOB, ABBC. Okay, if you feel like you're so familiar with this thing, right, you go through lor. If you really like, I don't like to memorize this one, just pass. Okay, 1 mark only. What? Must write full name. No, if the question asks you, right, for agencies in Malaysia, no need to give full name. Just give the short form MAFI, MARDI, MPOB, ABBC. It's okay, it's okay. All right. So, talking about the next one, Felda, Felcra, research and development, no need lah. The R&D stuff, no need. Felda, Felcra, no need. Okay, save some effort, Okay. But the approach of managing your land, right? Efficient land management, this one important. Okay, what is the aim? What is the aim? What is the approach? Go through. The question asks you. Okay, they ask you why you do so. Because you want to plant more crops. Okay, because you want to increase your yield. Okay, so all these kind of things. What are the approach? You can say, terrace planting, mixed planting, okay, penanaman terrace. Go through the names. Okay, so this one quite important lah. Then the question asks you about pesticides, right? The entire part of here, the use of pesticides and the biological control, everything in this page is important. Okay, we are not talking about the examples. The examples are not important. Unless you don't understand what is biological control, then you go through with the examples. Okay, just to let you know, pesticides is not totally bad. Pesticides, right, we call it racun serangga. Okay, racun serangga, it has advantage as well. Okay, you see, we have kelebihan, we have keburukan as well. So don't be like when the question comes along with pesticides, then you totally like you say no, you objection, cannot do so lah. Okay, so both of them has pro and cons. The question will ask you in section C. They say what? They say compare and contrast. Okay, compare and contrast your racun serangga, racun perosak, and your kawalan biology. They ask in this way. They ask you to do comparison, which is in this way, you must explain based on both of their advantages and disadvantages. Only you can score the marks. Okay, as well as in your section B, they will ask randomly, okay, in this specifically part lah. So the examples, no need, just go through with the pros and cons lah. And then the food processing technology, this one inevitable. Okay, I will say it this way. So go through everything, go through. Okay, but let me tell you something. In terms of your pasteurization, right? Pasteurization, you must know. You must know how to explain pasteurization. Okay, in Malaysia, I don't know why the government very, very like to ask you this kind of question. Okay, you fresh milk, you heat it in 63 for 30 minutes or 72 around 50 seconds. Okay, you have to know how to do pasteurization. This one, you must know at least how to explain them. Okay, so among all of these things, pasteurization worth to be highlighted. All right, so the rest, you read through you get the concept, you know the examples of food, then you can deal with the questions already. Okay, the question asks you why you do canning. Okay, blah blah blah. You explain lah. Okay, so then the next one will be this one. Okay, chemical substances we use in food processing technology. As well, know the name of chemical substance, know their functions. Okay, no need to go through with the examples of food or examples of chemical substance. Okay, the food, right? At least you bring your common sense into this thing lah. Okay, we don't say I put preservative in my fish, correct or not? Okay, like the fresh fish, you cook the fish, you put preservative. This is not logic, ma. Okay, so we don't put colorings on fish, correct or not? You cook the fish, you want the fish become blue color. Okay, impossible, ma. Bring your common sense into this thing, lah. Okay, so you are just simple stuff, lor. Then yeah. Okay, the next one is here. Chemical substance, this one worth to be highlighted. Only 2 points: cancer and damaging your liver and kidney. Okay, so when the question asks you what are the consequences or what are the impacts of having this kind of chemical substance, then you say lah, cancer or damaged liver and kidney. Mostly applicable to all of the chemical substances. Okay, then this chapter is actually quite friendly lah, because even the content is a lot, but the useless stuff also a lot. The rest 2.6, skip all of them. Okay, health food lah, supplement lah, don't need. Okay, just cross all of them. Don't need. They won't ask you about the food act stuff. Okay, you are not learning the law. We are learning about science. Okay, just go through. Okay, so chapter five, chapter three. Okay, from five, chapter three. So you have to know what is carbon footprint. You have to know carbon footprint means any activity that releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Any activity. Okay, that is all what is so-called carbon footprint. You own the factory, you run the factory, you drive car. Okay, even though you're breathing, you excrete carbon dioxide. It's a kind of carbon footprint. Offset means what? Okay, you have to know what is offset as well. Offset refers to what? It refers to something you can do to reduce the content of carbon dioxide. Okay, so when the question asks you, what is the thing you can do to offset carbon footprint? Then you have to know offset means I have to take some action to reduce the carbon dioxide content in the atmosphere. Solar energy lah, electric vehicle lah, can be the examples here. Okay, so just know the name lah. Okay, the question asks you what is carbon footprint, blah blah blah. All right, same. Okay, we don't go through with calculations unless your mathematics is cannot one, then you go through. Okay, but this one format will be given even though the question asks you. But so far as I know lah, I never seen any school ask this question before. But who knows? Okay, so the format will be given once the question is asked. Okay, then here, okay, what is the thing, okay, that you have to give concern whenever it comes to buying or using a product? Okay, what you have to think whenever you're using certain product. Okay, whether environment friendly or not, whether you can upcycle or not. Okay, what is the source of the material? Okay, good or not? Are you going to release a lot of carbon dioxide during during the manufacturing stuff? Okay, ask these questions. Okay, read through. No need to memorize. Then this one, you have to know what is the difference between carbon footprint and carbon handprint. Both of them shares the relationship reversely, which means carbon footprint means any activity you releases carbon dioxide and bring negative impact to the environment. Carbon footprint means throughout the entire process, you bring positive impact to the environment. Just bring a concept in your brain, in your mind lah. No need to memorize this. Okay, the thing you have to memorize is here, carbon footprint measure, carbon handprint measure. Okay, which means you have to know what is the thing you can do, okay, to increase the carbon handprint. Okay, so this one, actually you can relate this part, right, to what? To your green technology stuff. You know, green technology, okay, we learn in from chapter 4, okay, like your carbon handprint stuff, right? Relatable. Okay, to your green technology stuff. Just read through lah. Okay, you see energy efficiency. Okay, so we have this thing. So relatable one. But this one is important. They'll ask you, when the question comes to the environment stuff, right? They often ask you this kind of stuff one. Okay, then yeah, this one, life cycle of a product. Okay, just know the name here. Cradle to cradle life cycle, cradle to grave life cycle. BM, BM, you have to write this word in English. Okay, there is no BM word for cradle to grave. Okay, cradle to grave. So, objective they'll ask you. Okay, so microplastic as well. The question will ask you, what is microplastic? So you have to answer. Microplastic is a plastic pieces that is smaller or less than 5 mm. Okay, just know the name. Then the source no need lah. Okay, you have your common sense, the source no need lah. Okay, unless you really cannot find any plastic in your brain, then you read through. Okay, so this one also you read through, they are connected. How do the microplastics in the end go into human body? You say microplastic enter the fish, then the fish get caught by human, then human eat the fish. Microplastic will be transferred into human body. You have to know the storyline lah. Okay, upcycle. This one not about the word only. Okay, you take note by your own, write or tell yourself lah. Anyway, use anything to tell yourself. This one very very likely to ask you to sketch something. The question will ask you to draw out certain thing in your question. Even in your Form 5 any exam lah, as long as it is science, for the bahagian B, right? Last question, they will ask you to sketch something. Most likely will be your upcycle stuff. Okay, so later we'll go through some of the questions here lah, to tell you how to deal with the upcycle stuff. Okay, then environmental pollution. This one actually it is super super important. But since common sense will tell you the answer. You know what are the pollutions we have, right? Okay, air pollution, water pollution, land, blah blah blah. You just bring it into your common sense lah. No need to waste time here. But make sure you know we have something like this lah. So I give you a star. Actually, it worth 3 stars one because too easy already. Okay, then your EM mud ball. Okay, EM mud ball, no 3 things only. What is the content of EM mud ball? Okay, actually, EM mud ball, we use this thing to cure the water, to cure the contamination lah, okay, of river or something. So mud ball, right? 3 contents lactic acid bacteria photosynthetic, okay, and then your yeast. 3 of them. No need to go through the Rhodopseudomonas palutri. No need lah. Okay, no need to go through the name. We go with the general term, as I said. Okay. And then okay, you have a term here. At least you have to know what is eutrophication. Eutrophication, it has another name called algae bloom, which means you increase the phosphate and nitrate ion, which is super important for plants' growth. And since algae, if you supply them phosphate and nitrate, they can grow in crazy, which is a kind of phenomena called eutrophication lah. Okay, back to what we have learned. Okay, you see this thing? Nitrate, nitrogen. Okay, nitrogen, you break it down, become nitrate. Phosphorus become phosphate. So these 2 nutrition is so important to plants as well as the algae. So algae will use these 2 things, right, to grow rapidly, which is a kind of phenomena called eutrophication. Know this thing. Okay, and then the green technology, just read through because this one very common sense relate to the Form 4 chapter 4 one. Okay, so talking about this, right? I have something to pass to you, but let me search. I think it's here. Yeah. Okay, so this is your Form 4 chapter 4. Since your exam will be covering Form 4 all of the chapters, right, in Form 4. Okay, I believe lah. Your teacher will tell you. Okay, he's going to cover all the questions in your Form 4 as well. So this is for your Form 4 chapter 4. A lot of people, they are so confusing. Okay, in your Form 4 chapter 4, we have so many sectors. I don't know how to deal with the questions. I've already summarized everything in here, which is few words only. So this is your sector. We have only got 4 sectors to deal with. This is your issues. The issues is in blue color. And then the pink color word refers to the green technology, which is what we mentioned just now, green technology. Okay, so as well as you are looking for English, right? Yeah, here as well. We have 4 sectors. We have the issues, okay, as well as we have the green technology. Okay, so bring into your common sense lah. No need to memorize the stuff here. Okay, so you see, I just put 1 star. Actually, it's important. Okay, but Okay, Form 4 stuff lah. The role of United Nations pass. No need. Okay, because United Nation is not active anyway. Okay, so far it's not so active nowadays lah. So the question less likely to ask you one. Skip. Okay, from 5 chapter 4, you can keep on skipping until this one you just tell yourself, okay, how to calculate rate of reaction. The question might give you formula, but this one is important lah, just to tell you. It might be coming out in your exam. Okay, I think most likely will be objective lah. Subjective, less likely lah. Okay, then even if it is coming out right, will come out where? If your school first exam will cover this chapter will come in your section A. But I mean the paper 2 section A, which is the question asks you to sketch graph and you give out the calculation. So graph sketching might be coming out. So make sure you bring your pencil, blah blah blah, into your exam lah. Okay, so this one I think this one we have been through. Okay, you know how to draw this thing, right? Okay, in your syllabus. Okay, if you don't know, then it's okay. This one less likely to come out. But when it come out, right, a lot of people die one. Okay, the important one is this one 4.2. Factor, effect, rate of reaction. All of them are important. The concentration, okay, the presence, okay. Actually, I think the second point we have a typo. Okay, uh, the second point it has to be temperature. Okay, because the first point we are talking about the concentration, then second point impossible to come with the same thing lah. Okay, this one should be the suhu. Okay, just typo happens here. Okay, just change it lah. Okay, so concentration, temperature, the catalyst. Okay, catalyst is something that speed up your chemical reaction. Bear in your mind. Okay, catalyst speed up chemical reaction. Pemangkin, meningkatkan kadar tindak balas kimia. Alright. Then when it comes to the size of the solid, okay, so you have only got 4 factors to ask you. The question will ask you in terms of your bahagian A or bahagian B as well. Okay, so the application of the concept, right? Just give yourself 1 star here lah. Okay, then yeah, this is the last thing that we have to go through. Haber process and contact process. You have to know what? You have to know the condition. What is the condition for you to go through process Haber or process Sento? Okay, so what is the condition? What is the factor required? Okay, and what is the process? You have to know lah. Okay, so one more thing is actually quite important. Okay, when the question asks you what is the function of producing ammonia or producing sulfuric acid, okay, I have a general answer for you. Ammonia, you can say dye. So BM called as perwana. When you dye your hair or whatever, you're going to use ammonia. Okay, so for your sulfuric acid, you can tell yourself car battery. Okay, so sulfuric acid okay, will be used in producing car battery. Somehow the question asks you why people produce ammonia, why people produce sulfuric acid, what is the function of them? You tell them it can be used somehow in this way. All right, so basically the points are here for your Form 5 Chapter 1 until Chapter 4. Okay, there's no more points already. So the next one is here. Wait. Okay, just to confirm, the Pikachu is my physical class student or what? Because I've no idea who is Pikachu. Okay, so yeah, if you don't have this format, I can spend some time. You can just screenshot this thing. For BM, I'll show you English later. Okay, this format will worth you around 30 marks. I'll explain what is this inside soon. Okay, this one is your section A and section C for English. So if you need it, just take a screenshot lah. I'm okay with that. Okay, then we'll go through the explanation. Okay, then only we spend time on doing the exercises. I'll focus to you on this thing. Okay, generally, in your SPM format, okay, I'll keep on emphasizing this thing until you blend this thing into your brain. So we have for your bahagian A worth 20 marks for each question. Okay, how many questions? We have around 4 questions here. For each questions, you have 5 marks. So among these 5 marks, right? Okay, 4 marks will be your format base. 1 mark will be the application. So at least from here, 16 marks, okay, is compulsory for you to score one, which is based on this format, 16 marks. Plus, you have one more thing called bahagian C. Bahagian C, right, approximately 10 to 12 marks. Okay, so roughly 30 marks around there for you to score already. Okay, so based on the format, that's what you have to know. You must 100% familiar to this format to deal with this thing in your exam. Okay, so there are two things that you cannot get confused when it comes to the format. One, manipulated variable. Two, responding variable, which is I'm going to represent this thing as MV and RV later lah. Okay, so BM is so-called pemboleh ubah dimanipulasi and pemboleh ubah bergerak balas. So manipulated variable refers to what? The things that has to be different in the experiment. For example, I have 2 samples to test. Those 2 samples must be different. Okay, otherwise, if the sample are same, then there's no point of doing this experiment already. Okay, two, bergerak balas, the things that need to be tested. Uh what is a topic I wish to test in this experiment? What is the result I'm going to test in this experiment? So it's so-called responding variable Okay, talking about constant variable, things that need to be fixed, which means to make sure your experiment is fair. What is the thing that you have to make it constant? Okay, so for example, I'm going to do one experiment, then both of the sample must be at the same place to do the experiment to make sure the experiment is fair. Okay, if you take the experiment one in Malaysia, another one in UK or USA, whatever okay, then the experiment is not fair anymore. All right. So this is the one is so-called constant variable. So in terms of your part, right, the question will ask you something like this. They won't ask you directly, I want manipulated variable. Somehow they would express it this way. What will say? The question will say, what the question will say, the things that has to be different, the factor that has to be different, faktor yang perlu diubah. That is so-called pemboleh ubah dimanipulasi. You get me? The question say factor that has to be changed means the things that has to be different. So in this particular point, right, you have to know, okay, you need to write manipulated variable already. Okay, when the question say, okay, what is the factor that need to be tested? Okay, what is the factor that need to be observed? Then it comes to your responding variable. When the question says, what is the factor that need to be constant? Apakah faktor yang perlu ditetapkan, dikekal? Then it means your constant variable lah. Okay, so I'm trying to bring out that when the question is writing in different way, but the expression, okay, is actually same as these words. You just write the answer inside lah. Because all the answers here, right, okay, is basically can be copy and paste from the questions. Okay, so one more thing here is the question that asks you way to control it. Okay, cara untuk mengawalnya. When the question say what is the way to control the manipulated variable? Okay, the keyword is here, memastikan in PM. So in English, so called make sure lah. Make sure. You make sure something has been done. If the question say manipulated variable, then you say make sure what thing is different. Okay, responding variable. Okay, make sure the result is tested accurately. Make sure your responding variable is tested accurately. Okay, so constant variable, make sure something is same. You got me? So the way to answer like how to control these kind of variables, right, is make sure. Okay, so when it comes to your hypothesis, right, hypothesis we have 2 ways to deal with. One, you can measure the hypothesis. For example, you can say the more the less, the more the manipulated variable, the less the responding variable. BM so-called semakin semakin lah. Whenever you can apply semakin semakin, don't hesitate, just use this thing. But when it comes to some scenario, right, whichever you know that you cannot use the more the less. For example, I cannot say, uh, okay, you look at the question here. I cannot say the more the steel, okay, the less the corrosion resistant. This is not logic, right? Okay, so when it comes to here, like you cannot use the more the less already. You have to do comparison. You do comparison based on both of the manipulated variable because this kind of question, right, they'll give you at least two manipulated variable. Okay, if given four or five, right, just choose random two to do comparison. Okay, for example, steel has more corrosion resistance. The corrosion resistance refers to your responding variable. Okay, so the ketahanan karat lah. Okay, so-called responding variable. Compare to, you do comparison, berbanding. Okay, compared to the another manipulated variable. So based on here, if you figure out you cannot use the more the less already, just take two of the manipulated variables to do comparison based on your responding variable. Okay. Okay, so this is how you deal with the hypothesis stuff lah. All right. So when it comes to the observation, yeah, observation okay, so-called copy and paste lah. Based on the diagram, based on the questions, based on the table, whatever, just based on anything, you write the result or write what you have seen in the from the experiment. Okay, just write whatever it happens. Okay, when it comes to inference, right? Inference means reason why your observation happens this way. Okay, usually it's because of manipulated variable lah. Huh. So, for example, okay, steel has more corrosion resistance compared to iron, so that we know steel won't get rusted, right? Okay, when steel won't get rust, then this is your observation. Okay, the steel nail has no change. Then when it comes to inference, right, you write steel has no change because of steel is alloy. Okay, so of course, the manipulated variable is one is alloy, another one is metal. Okay, so or else you can say besi akan karat. Okay, besi akan karat is your pemerhatian observation. Disebabkan oleh besi adalah logam, which is a kind of metal, because of MV, the manipulated variable. Okay, then when it comes to the operation definition, operational definition is not tough as you imagine. Okay, actually this one is quite simple. We have a format here. Red color indicates the answers can be found in the question. Okay, orange color indicates the word that you choose. Okay, for example, subject. Okay, I use back the what bacteria stuff lah. Bacteria is a what? Is a kind of substance. Okay, if you don't want to write substance, bacteria is a kind of microorganisms also can. You choose the word here. That causes, what is your observation? That causes the solution become cloudy. Okay, after how many days? The how many days is given in the question lah. Okay, bacteria adalah sesuatu mikroorganisma or bahan up to you yang akan menyebabkan larutan menjadi keruh selepas what you choose yourself. Okay, somehow the question will say, what is subject? Somehow the question will say, state the operational definition for bacteria. Then bacteria is your subject lah. Okay, so whenever the time is not, whenever the question is not given time or process, right? Okay, anyway, it comes from experiment. So when the experiment didn't give you time or process, right? Then what you have to write? You write after experiment lah. Okay, then full stop. So all of things here is format based. Just fill in the blanks and you score the marks already. So precautionary step is just same as what we mentioned just now. Make sure, memastikan. You make sure something is same. Make sure something is different. Make sure something is accurate. Make sure something is done. Okay, make sure something is done comes to whenever the question asks you to take care or be attentive to the safety precaution stuff lah. Okay, the safety stuff. You see the word safety. Okay, then you have to say something like this already. Okay, wear goggles. Okay, for chapter 1, wear goggles, wear your coat, something like this. Okay, when it comes to hubungan or relationship, you just use the first hypothesis, the more the less, semakin semakin. If your teacher don't let you use semakin semakin, right? Okay, your teacher don't let you to use semakin semakin, you write jika maka, same thing. Okay, Chika Maka will be more acceptable for Malay lah, because like Semaki Semaki is not so good. Is precautionary step a common question? In terms of your compulsory question in your section C, right? Yes. Bahagian C, the first compulsory question experiment, yes. Precautionary is very, very commonly asked there. Huh. So quite simple lah. We'll go through. Make sure something is what. Something like this. Okay. When it comes to your aim, right? Okay, to study the relationship between MV and RV. Fill in the blanks. Okay, untuk mengkaji hubungan antara MV and RV. Just fill in the blanks. Okay. So MV and RV, right? You can see these two things cannot be mistaken. Okay, in this question, in this bahagian A. If you mistake one MV and RV in this section A, right, you mess up the entire question. So you have four questions, so you mess up one, lor. Okay, then you have three attempts left, lah. But I'll teach you how to double check whether your MV and RV is correct. Your question will tell you everything actually. Impossible to get it wrong one. Okay, so problem statement. Okay, this one also. Okay, famous question. Bahagian C, first question. I mean, your bahagian C has a compulsory question, right? In your compulsory experiment question, this will be the first question. Okay, problem statement. How does the MV affect RV? Okay, how does the MV affect RV? That's all. Okay, so last one is your proof. This one is a kind of new question. Okay, new question which it never come out in the previous school exam before. But last year, 2 years ago, okay, not the latest SPM, the past SPM came out once. Okay, but the previous SPM as well. So this is kind of new question coming out in the SPM. Okay, so the question asks you to prove something. For example, the question says, okay, Ali ran fastest among three of the friends. Okay, prove it. The question asks you to say prove it. So if you want to prove something, right, you base on the data. Okay, usually when the question asks you to prove, right, table will be given, data will be given. So you just say, Ali ran fastest because he finished the run within 1 minute. So within 1 minute. So the 1 minute is your data as in number lah. Okay, so when it comes to the buktikan or proof stuff, you remember to give data. Alright. So this one is a kind of new question. Not sure whether your school is coming out or not, but as long as it is coming out, then you just fix it. Alright. So yeah. Okay, that's all for the format explanation. Okay, then we go to application. You go to your first page as in okay, the FAQ is here. Frequently asked question. Question number two. Question number three first. Okay, I'll claim to say something first before we start the application stuff. Okay, question number three. First, I have to write in both languages because here we are using two languages lah. Okay, we are trying to adapt to different languages user here. So I'll spend some time on writing. So please give me some patience to write lah, because one answer I have to write twice. Okay, but I try to write faster, and then my handwriting will be not so good compared to normal. Okay, so just to tell you lah, we have these kind of things. So whenever you don't know or you don't understand what am I writing, okay, what is the word you cannot understand, you tell me. Okay, I try my best to write better lah. Okay, so yeah, okay, just tell yourself whenever it comes to your bahagian A, okay, bahagian A, section A stuff, right? Please make sure among all the four questions, right, whenever you go into the question, make sure you find the MV and RV first. Every single time. Just tell yourself, you hypnotize yourself, MV, RV, MV, RV, before everything. Okay, so you see, I'll teach you a trick here. The trick is here. When it comes to MV and RV, right, we have a pattern. You know the word pattern? Okay, usually, you have table, right? We always refer to the table first because the table will tell you everything. Okay, usually the left-hand side will be your MV. If left hand side is MV, then right hand side is your RV. Usually. Okay, if it doesn't work in this way in the table, then somehow it might be upper part is your MV or lower part is your RV. Okay, so you just tell yourself, or when it comes to table, right? Left is MV, right is RV. When it comes to your another way of table, right? Okay, up is MV, then down is your RV. Just tell yourself something like this. Okay, so based on this question, what we can do, we have no up and down to see, right? Okay, so we look at the left and right. Okay, so the left hand side here refers to your MV and right hand side here refers to your RV. Impossible it is to be test tube because test tube is not the thing we are going to examine. It is just the test tube that we use to hold something only. So if you want to double check whether my MV and RV is correct or not, we have few ways to go through. One, look at the diagram. Correct or not? Oh, okay, the light intensity. Oh, correct. This light intensity, correct. This is my manipulated variable. Things that has to be different. Then my responding variable means the condition of nutrient broth. Is it true? Okay, correct. I'm going to test my nutrient broth. Okay. Another way to double check the more accurate one is your question. You see, okay, to study the effect of light intensity on the growth of bacteria. Relatable or not? The light intensity on the growth of bacteria. So growth of bacteria is actually related to the condition of nutrient broth. Related lah. Okay, so this one will tell you that, oh, my MV and RV is correct. Okay, when you do this thing, right, it's not going to spend you like 5 minutes or something like this. No, maybe not even 1 minute. Just read through only. Then you can double check your answer already. So in BM as well you see, kesan keamatan cahaya ke atas pertumbuhan bakteria. So kesan cahaya, keamatan cahaya atas pertumbuhan bakteria. Then you know what it is happening. Okay, so you get your MV and RV first before everything starts. Okay, so A, based on the result in the table above, you state one observation. So when it comes to the observation, right, don't be panicked, just write whichever you have seen. Okay, but when you have this kind of examples, you have one, two, three. You have three samples here. Always remember, don't write the middle one. Because the middle one will be the most modest, not the modest, moderate one. Okay, we don't want the moderate one. We want the different. We want to see the difference. Okay, so usually we will choose the first one or the last one to write. We won't write the middle one lah. Okay, so based on the result in the above, state one observation. You say lor. Okay, what happened to test tube P? You say test tube P is clear in the nutrient broth. Okay, so in English, like keadaan bubur nutrient adalah jernih pada okay, just write what you see, okay, from the questions. Okay, so can I write the lower the like the okay, so when you want to say the more, the less, the higher, the lower, right? This refers to the hypothesis, not the observation lah. Okay, if you're talking about the observation, then later. I mean, observation, just write down whatever you see. You don't give hypothesis in observation. Okay. So you say what? Nutrient broth in test tube R is cloudy than test tube P. Yep. This one also can. This one also can. If you do comparison like, oh, this one is more cloudy than this one, also can. Okay, as I said, just write down whatever, okay, you can see from the table. When it comes to the inference, right, the inference means you have to give reason already, correct or not? So I would just, in this way, Test tube P is clear in nutrient broth as your MV. What is your MV? Your MV is your light intensity, ma. As it has or as it is placed under high light intensity. Okay, but don't stop here. Don't stop here because this is not a complete inference. You have to make it clear which bacteria, right? Oh yeah, because you see growth of bacteria. So we just use like bacteria unable to grow. Okay, so this is how you deal with the format stuff. Observation plus MV. MV is your light intensity. But okay, make sure you give it a complete stuff which bacteria are unable to grow. Okay, so BM as well, same stuff lah. I would say in BM same stuff. Keadaan bubur nutrient adalah jernih pada tabung uji Q kerana ia diletakkan bawah keamatan cahaya yang tinggi dan bakteria tidak dapat bertumbuh. Okay, so the bacteria cannot grow in this way lah. Okay, you would like to say it is exposed to lower light intensity that encourages the growth of bacteria. Can I? Sure, this one can be acceptable. I mean, this one is acceptable as well. So we have a student say, can I write, it is exposed to lower light intensity that encourages the growth of bacteria. This is actually correct as well. Based on your observation, you write it this way. Sure. Okay, but try to make it connected. Try to make it connected in between the inference and the observation because somehow the question will say, based on your observation, what is the state one inference? The question will say it this way. Based on your observation, state one inference for this experiment. Then you have to, based on your observation, you cannot be like, oh, here I write Q, then here I write R. Okay, somehow less relatable. Okay, you never know the markers pattern. So we try to keep it safe. All right, but your answer is correct actually. So very good. State the factor that is fixed in this experiment. You see, okay, you see the question is asking you to give faktor what is called pemboleh ubah dimalarkan. Okay, the constant variable, but in another way of expression. Another way of expression. Okay, factor that is fixed. So in here, just look back to your diagram lah. Okay, what thing is fixed in this experiment? Just ask yourself. Okay, now you can say, or the volume or the quantity of the solution. Can okay, or else you want to say the size of test tube lah. It matters as well. Okay, because you cannot say what I use big test tube, what I use small test tube. Doesn't matter, ma. Not doesn't matter. Doesn't logic, ma. Okay, so from here, I will be what? I'll choose to say the volume of solution lah. Or you want to say the volume of nutrient broth also can. Okay, like play safe, we use back what the word question given lah. Okay, isi padu bubur nutrient. So factor that has been changed. Okay, factor that has been changed. If I write test tube only, cannot lah. Cannot. Okay, as I say, if you just write nutrient broth, also cannot. You must make sure you have the word, okay, to describe it. The volume lah, the size lah. Okay, you have to describe it. You cannot be like test tube, cannot be like nutrient broth. Try to make it complete lah. Okay, so what is a factor that has been changed? Has been changed means manipulated variable lah. So you have to give the just copy and paste the light intensity. Just copy from the table lah. Okay, so called keamatan cahaya. All right. So the last one, when it comes to the operational definition of bacteria, okay, so you have to say, Lord, what is the object? Object plus subject. The subject is bacteria. So you apply this thing into the format stuff, right? Okay, bacteria is your subject. Bacteria is you ask yourself, oh, what is bacteria? It is a microorganism. Okay, bacteria is a microorganism that cause your observation. What is your observation? You look back to your table. Okay, look back into your table. Which one shows that you have bacteria? Very cloudy, right? Very cloudy indicates that you have bacteria. So you say, lor, okay, that cause the condition of nutrient broth. Very cloudy. After how many days is mentioned? Yeah, after 5 days. So you see, format is applied here. Okay, completely applied here. Just fill in the blanks only. So in BM, right, bacteria adalah mikroorganisma yang menyebabkan keadaan sangat keruh selepas 5 hari. So just throw in everything into the format. So you see, 5 marks, okay, masuk your pocket already. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lah. That's why I say all here is like format-based stuff. Okay, no need to be like so panic lah. All right. Then we go to, yeah, the next question is actually similar. You can try to practice by your own, like question 4, okay, like applies to what we have learned before. Okay, like the format stuff you throw inside. Because this question style, you can see the format, the diagram, everything is actually same as what we have learned just now. Just the difference is just now we are using light intensity, but here we are using pH value. They only change the manipulated variable, but in the end, everything is the same. Just try to ask yourself whether you able to handle the format or not. Okay. Bacteria is a microorganism that cause the condition of nutrient broth to be cloudy after a period of time. Can actually can lah. Okay. You want to say after a period of time can. If you want to say 5 days, up to you. Huh. Okay, I'll show another question that when it comes without table. Okay, when the question comes without table, then how do you get the MV and RV? Okay, as well, question number 5. When it has to comes to MV and RV, right? Okay, so but table is not given, then what you can rely? Okay, you can rely on the diagram. Find the difference lah. You find the difference from the diagram. So you can see lor, okay, one petri dish A, one petri dish B, then one comes with moist, one comes with dry. Okay, so the manipulated variable here is about, you want to say kelembapan also can. You want to say moisture can. You want to say humidity also can, up to you. Okay, because why? The question says what? Study the effect of humidity. You see, I double check already. Humidity or moisture is my MP. Okay, on the nutrient, I mean, humidity of the nutrient on the growth of microorganisms. So the growth of microorganisms indicates my RV, which is the condition of nutrient broth lah. Nutrient agar, not broth already. Nutrient agar. Okay, so the keadaan agar-agar, okay, is what we talk about the RV stuff. So as well, just write down the MV and RV first. Okay, so only you go through with the questions. So you see, state one observation. Based on what you can see, right? Okay, A shows colony bacteria and B doesn't show colony bacteria. Just choose one of them to answer. better try not to write both lah. Otherwise, it is going to be super wordy in your inference here. Okay, so I would choose to say A. I would say Petri dish A has colony bacteria. Is it? But after 3 days. Okay, so when it comes to inference, same lah. Just copy and paste. Okay, as the moist nutrient agar, your MV, right? Okay, is humid to support growth of, okay, growth of what you don't know, bacteria, whatever, don't know. So I write growth of microorganisms lah. Okay, Petri dish has black dots after 3 days, while Petri dish does not. This one can be your observation as well. But you see, when the question asks you to give inference for the answer in A1, so if you write both, right, then you have to state inference for both of them, which is you can see how wordy it could be. So of course, if you don't mind, right, just proceed. Okay, again, as the moist nutrient agar, okay, is humid, okay, don't stop, continue to support growth of microorganisms. Make the sentence complete. Don't stop it halfway lah. Okay, it's like I ask you to makan, you makan halfway, I ask you to stop. Okay, not good, right? Okay, so in terms of your BM version, piring Petri A ada koloni bakteria selepas 3 hari. So when it comes to the inference, same thing lah. Kerana agar nutrien lembab menyokong pertumbuhan mikroorganisma. Okay, so this is how you deal with the questions. Okay, the first time we encounter hypothesis, you ask yourself, okay, is it about the more the humidity, the more the growth of microorganisms? Okay, so actually not to say wrong, in fact it is something like this, but look at the table, look at the diagram lah. Okay, there's no indicator to show you that the more the humid. Okay, the thing it is telling that one moist, one dry. So you cannot say it's very, very hard to say the more the less. It is very, very hard to measure dry and moist. Okay, because the data show or slowly from dry become a little bit humid, then become super humid. You didn't see the difference here. Okay, so from here, I would encourage you to use the second one because smoother for you to write lah. Okay, easier for you to write. So you do comparison based on two of them. So you can say moist nutrient agar. You take both MV to do comparison. We use the one comparison way to answer because this one is more easier, okay, to answer. Because you say the more the humid, the more the bacteria grow. You see logic or not? Not really, because there's no the more the more. Okay, so moist nutrient agar will have growth of microorganisms compared to, the keyword is here, compared to dry. Okay, so just ask yourself which way to answer is more uh comfortable lah. Okay, agar nutrien lembab akan bertumbuh berbanding. The Q is here, berbanding kering, not kering lah. Okay, tanpa lembab. Just use back the word questions given ah. Okay, some of the people, right, they still remain in the bad habit. Like I'm being too hesitate to copy and paste the word questions given. Okay, actually, you copy the words question given is correct because the questions would never get wrong, right? Just copy and paste lah. Don't hesitate on this thing really. Okay, what is the manipulated variable in this experiment? See, manipulated variable, copy and paste lah. You see what? The humidity of nutrient agar. Okay, just use whatever the question is given. So if you don't know the word kelembapan, you read back the question. Question someone will tell you the keyword one. Some of people like, understand you like, hey, my vocabulary tak boleh support this thing. Then how? I forgot the word already. Read the question lah. The question someone will give you the keyword one. Okay, so that's why I say NP and RV are impossible to get wrong in your section A. Everything is given already. Okay, so basically, this question, right, would be the proper style of the SPM question lah. Usually the SPM question, you can see 4 marks of your format stuff, 1 mark of your application. So this question D is actually an application question. Okay, question will ask something like this to ask you how do you apply your knowledge on to solve this thing. Suggest one way to prevent the growth of Bacillus sp, which means it is placed in a dark cupboard. Okay, then how are you going to solve this thing? You put it under the sun lah. Okay, so that you can prevent the growth of bacillus law. So put it under the sun. So this one I don't do translation lah. Letakkannya di bawah matahari. This is the way you deal with the question. All right. So let me see. I'm planning to go into section B, but not now. Okay, yeah, this is actually the same thing. You see, question number 10. Can I write condition of nutrient agar? Can if you don't want to write if you don't want to write the condition condition is a little bit in gray area because this one can be related to your responding variable as well, you know. Okay, in the end of the experiment, what is the condition of nutrient agar? It can be related to this thing. Yeah, one dry, one wet, I know. Yeah. So better for you to like refer back to what question says lah. The most secure one. This one's a little bit gray area for me lah. Okay, because if you say condition of nutrient agar, it can be a responding variable as well. Because in the experiment, in the end of the experiment, I'm going to see what is the condition of nutrient agar. It can be both of them. So a little bit gray area. So yeah. So better you read back the questions. We play safe. I always tell my students to play safe lah. Okay. So question number 10, very, very similar to what we have done just now. Okay. Different concentration. So of antibiotic on the growth of bacteria. So you just go through. This one you can try. Actually, 100% safe as what you have done just now. Just try by your own. Okay. Then okay, later on we come back to here. This one. We don't spend time here first. We go to your section C. This one matters. Okay, the compulsory question. Yeah. You go to your page 12. Okay, page 12. Yep. So you look at here, page 12. The question says as well, always seek for the MV and RV. Okay, before you go into the question. Different pH value. So different pH value. So this pH value stands for your MV. Then the growth of bacteria stands for your RV. Just seek for these two things first. Only you go into the format stuff. Okay? So the question asks you to carry out the experiment, blah, 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 blah. Okay, doesn't matter. Problem statement. Problem statement, the way to answer is how does the MV affects the RV? Same lah. You pakai copy and paste saja. So, the format is how does the different pH value affect your growth of bacteria? Remember to give question mark. So this one and this one is from your question. How does the MV affect your RV? How does the MV affect for your RV is your format stuff. Okay, so when it comes to your hypothesis, okay, so hypothesis, right? Uh, okay, when it comes to a hypothesis, oh, sorry, for your BM version first. Okay, so bagaimanakah, okay, uh, nilai pH berbeza. If you don't want the word berbeza, also can. How does the pH value affect the growth of bacteria? Also can. Okay, mempengaruhi, affect, okay, pertumbuhan bacteria. Then question mark. So this is how you deal with the questions lah. Okay, format stuff. Okay, free, huh? So hypothesis as well. Hypothesis, okay, you cannot say this one is real thing. You cannot say the higher or the lower pH value than the growth of bacteria. Okay, because both higher or both lower will affect the growth of bacteria. Okay, so in here we have to do comparison based on what? Based on high low pH value. Here, in here, your high low category is in one. Because high or low, both of them will decrease the rate of growing of bacteria. Only normal pH value will stimulate the growth of bacteria. So you have to take two of these category to do comparison. You ask your own logic lah. Don't be like, okay, I can use high low, then semakin coming out. The more the less. Okay? Not really. Because not just the more, the less as well. You got me? So pH value too high, bacteria die. pH value too low, bacteria die as well. So we do comparison. So you see how I write, You can say, okay, high or low pH value will affect the growth of bacteria compared to normal pH. Okay, so this is how you deal with the question. You put high or low pH in one category, and you put another one in another category. Okay, I use different color lah so that you can see the difference. Okay, so for BM as well, you can say nilai pH yang tinggi atau rendah akan mempengaruhi, okay, pertumbuhan bakteria. Wow, BM is so long. Berbanding, okay, nilai pH biasa. Normal also can. Yes. The higher the or lower of pH value will affect the growth of bacteria compared to the normal pH value. Yes, this is what exactly I'm trying to bring it up. Okay, you already got me what I mentioned. Okay, so this is how you deal with the hypothesis stuff. Okay, so the next one, factor that is changing. You see, factor that is changing, same lah, manipulated variable. And the way to control it. So you have to give both answers. Okay, don't be like, because 2 marks ma. Okay, both answers has to be given. So the factor that has to be changed is different, not to say different lah, just pH value. Okay, pH value is a thing. Then how are you going to control it? The keyword is here, make sure. Okay, make sure using different pH value in experiment. Okay, make sure using different pH value in experiment. So this is how you control the manipulated variable. So in BM as well, just say nilai pH. Okay, memastikan, the keyword is here, memastikan guna nilai pH yang berbeza dalam eksperimen. Okay, because of the spacing issue. Okay, so you can see it is quite messy. It's okay. Uh, all right. So fixed factor. Fixed factor represents to the constant variable lah. So in terms of a constant variable, you have to say lor. Okay, what is a fixed variable? You have to say the rest of the temperature, the surrounding, the volume of blah blah blah. Everything you can write lah. A lot of things to write. So I would say the what is it called? The quantity of bacteria culture. Okay, actually English is culture bacteria, but it's okay. I just accidentally terbalik. Doesn't matter. Just you have to know lor. Quantity culture bacteria. Okay, so this is your constant variable lah. So when it comes to the material and apparatus, okay, material and apparatus, right? You have to make sure you have a brilliant imagination. Try to imagine, now I'm going to do the experiment. Okay, what is the material that I have to prepare? You ask yourself. Okay, like few basic stuff lah. You have been through all the experiment stuff. So just ask yourself, what is the basic stuff I have to prepare? So the first one is the most common, petri dish. Okay, petri dish. Then you can say bacteria culture. Okay, then you can mention about what? You can mention about the what is it called? You can say I use soap. I use diluted acid. Okay, and it comes with agar lah. Because you have to make sure you give them nutrition, only they survive ma. How much we need to mention? There's no benchmark here. There's no limit lah. Okay, just make sure you fill in the blanks like whichever it is necessary. But okay, there's a cost. If you write a lot, right, all these things that you have written, you need to sketch it out. So if you write those kind of professional like crazy stuff, right, in the end you have to sketch it out. Then you susah already. So in BM, right, bahan dan radas piring battery culture bacteria. Yeah. Okay, then you can say soap, sabun, okay, everything. So this one I don't write in PM lah because too messy already. I cannot tahan. Okay. So in the end, the point is sketch it out. How you are going to sketch it out. Okay, so when you sketch, right, a few things you have to be careful lah. Okay, one, whenever the question asks you to mention all the material by your own, make sure you have sketched all of them. Okay, you have draw all of them in your paper. Okay, so you cannot randomly extra add something inside in your sketching whenever it comes to exam. Or if the question already given you the material, you must make sure you use up all the materials given in the question. Okay, somehow we have another format lah, but the format is not shown here. But I'll try to see later whether we have another format or not. Okay, the question sometimes is given with materials. Okay, but it's okay. We have to go through this one first. Drawings, right? How do you sketch this thing? Okay, so it can be like this, oh. Okay, and then because this is your petri dish, ma, and then your bacteria counter, and then before that we sketch out your nutrient agar first. So this is your nutrient agar. Yeah, actually I just sketch one, then copy and paste everything lah. It's okay. Then this is your bacteria counter. Okay, and then you have to put soap. Okay, then you have to put diluted acid. Okay, then one without anything, because you see we have to do comparison. Ask yourself whether it's fitted, okay, or match with what we have written before, because you see high or low pH value will affect the growth of bacteria compared to normal pH. So that's why I have to give normal pH as well. So this is your normal pH, this is your high pH, this is your low pH. Make sure you sketch it out and you do your labeling. For example, okay, your nutrient agar, okay, your diluted acid, your soap, your bacteria counter, then your petri dish. You make sure you got do labeling. Then only you can get the complete 2 marks lah. Huh. Okay, if you found out that hey, something is missing, or okay, for example lah, now I don't want to use soap. You change to anything lah. You can say I use bleach. Okay, if you don't want to use diluted acid, I change to lemon juice. Also acidic ma, up to you. The point is you bring out the message only. Okay. So lastly, safety precautions to ensure that the investigation is fair. Okay, you can see the word fair. So what we have to talk about here, we have to deal with constant variable lah. Make sure, okay, make sure the quantity of bacteria culture is safe. Memastikan isi padu or memastikan kuantiti bacteria culture adalah sama. Okay, so if you don't use quantity, you can use volume. Up to you lah. Okay, so from here you can see all of the marks is actually copy and paste. It's just a kind of format stuff. You can secure the answer one. All right. Then let me see. I wanted to talk with you another question here, but I'll see whether I got the format or not. Yeah. Not this one. Okay, doesn't matter. You go to the chapter 2, question number 18, which is the page 29. This one. Can make sure the quantity of bacteria culture is even. Can. You see, this one, same meaning, different words. I mean, different word, but same expression. Okay, doesn't matter with it. Okay. This one is your optional question. If you want to deal with your optional questions, right? Okay, few things that you have to remember. One, okay, writing out a sentence doesn't mean you score a point. You got me, Writing out a sentence doesn't mean you score a point. Okay, writing a point only worth a point. Just tell yourself something like this. You have to write the point. The question they won't ask you random things one. When the question asks you something, right, the points must be something that you have learned before. So the points come from where? Come from the short notes lah. That's why I give you a stars, right? So you answer based on the stars. For example, you see, okay, question number 18, optional questions. Okay, before you choose the questions, right, you ask yourself, okay, so you have question 12, question 13. So among these two, you calculate lor, which one is more confident or which one is more comfortable whenever you write. You choose that one. The other one, you don't look. Okay, don't be like, I write until halfway already study. I feel like I cannot write already. I abandon lah. I write again. Don't waste your time here. I would rather you use the time to double check or sleep. Okay, don't waste your time in doing this kind of stuff lah. Okay, so you see, caused by malnutrition. This one we say rickets. Okay, this one is your kwashiorkor because big tummy and skinny hands, skinny leg. Okay, so explain the food that children need to take to prevent the above disease. The question is asking you to give explanation. So when it comes to explanation, right, you must mention the disease as well. Okay, and the class of food. How does the class of food can solve the problem? You have to mention. So you have to say, okay, rickets. Okay, rickets happens due to lack of calcium. Okay, so he need to eat more, or not eat more lah. He need to drink milk. Okay, most common sense one, you drink milk, you get calcium. Okay, so for this one, kwashiorkor. So I write in BM. Okay, so like you translate a little bit lah. Okay, I save time. So you can say kwashiorkor happens, okay, berlaku sebab kekurangan protein. Okay, dia perlu makan daging. Okay, makan ayam, makan daging, makan lembu also can lah. But make sure you don't makan the bad word lah. I mean, don't challenge the teacher lah. If you write the B stuff, right, GG already. Okay, so 2 marks is given. You can see how to answer these things. Okay, you make sure the thing is always complete. Don't be like, eat protein, eat protein, then full stop already. Then you didn't score the mark because, okay, example, explain the food. At least you have to bring out eat meat. Why? Because meat is rich in protein. Drink milk. Why? Because milk is rich in calcium. At least you have to mention something like this. You don't be like milk. Don't be like meat. Then how? Who knows? Who knows what you are going to express? Okay. So B. Okay, so two different individuals like different energy. One like like pregnancy, okay, another one she's running, okay. Based on your knowledge lah, explain the factors that affect the energy requirement in these two individuals, okay. So you don't say the other things, okay. So based on two of them, you explain the effects lah or the factors. Okay, so from here, you have 6 marks, okay, 6 marks to go through. So among two of them, you can say one pregnant woman, another athlete woman. So actually, 3 factors is fine enough. Okay, because for each factors, you have to explain both of them. So both of them, each one worth 1 mark. So you have to explain 3 factors. One, activity lah. Okay, the physical activity. Correct now. You explain physical activity, you need a lot lah. Okay, so beside physical activity, you can say age. Correct not? Okay, disregard I mean because age matters okay, even though they didn't mention, but age matters. Okay, so based on the energy requirement, you can say because maybe the old one need more energy, the old one need less energy, whatever. Okay, 3, body condition. Okay, body condition, health condition. You can say what? This one she's having pregnancy. So the energy she's going to consume is basically more than female in usual. Okay, so you slightly explain two of them based on these aspects lah. Okay, you cannot say gender. You cannot say gender because doesn't relate with gender. Two of them is female. Okay, you cannot say working stuff because that's not working. Okay, but you can say their physical activity because one is running, one is not. Just explain through these ways lah. Okay, so each point you elaborate for both of them, total 6 marks. Okay, then I don't write in sentences because this one is going to take me a lot of time. Okay, so I just roughly bring out the message here lah. So C, yeah, you see, this is why I asked you to go through the mama stuff just now. Whenever I highlighted the point with you, right? Okay, I say the health, what is so-called the eating pattern of Malaysian. They ask here, you see, okay, based on the statement above, make an evaluation. Evaluation, it doesn't mean there's a standard answer. Evaluation is the best, easiest way to answer because evaluation is open topic. Okay, you evaluate the importance of adopting adapting, not adopting. Okay, adopt is adopt. No, okay, adapting the above regulation. So all restaurants in Malaysia are only allowed to operate from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. Okay, so you explain lah. Okay, what is the importance of doing this thing? Okay, so one you can explain. I mean, actually, it is all about health. Okay, so in your health, right, you have to explain in 4 aspects so that you can score 4 points. So one, okay, you can say high blood pressure. Okay, high blood pressure as you eat during late night, right? Okay, those oily food or whatever food like the restaurant supply will cause you that high blood pressure. You explain. Okay, because of what? Of the salty food. Okay, two, what is so called? Atherosclerosis. Okay, atherosclerosis is a kind of blood vessel disease. Okay, the blood vessel disease happens because of what? High cholesterol from food. Okay, cholesterol makanan yang tinggi. Okay, that cause you the atherosclerosis. Okay, the third one you can say diabetes cancer, colorings. Diabetes come from sweet. Okay, he answered this way. In exam can answer in point form. Cannot lah, of course. Okay, you try to write it in paragraph. For example, one paragraph, 1 point lah. 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. Okay, so you roughly answer in this way. Okay, so that you evaluate lah. Okay, how important to do this thing because you do this thing. Okay, you can avoid this thing. You can avoid this thing. Avoid. So just mention, bring out what is the importance of doing this thing. Okay, so that's why I say relatable. What we have mentioned just now. Where's the we mentioned right something about this the eating pattern of Malaysian. Where is it Yeah, this one. Okay, so the points come from here. Okay, so quite simple. Okay, then we spend time on doing bahagian B first. Wait just now I saw one question that is worth doing. Yeah, this one. Just try to bring out a message. This one is quite important. 2 questions to go through, which I believe it's quite important. Your chapter 1, question 11, page 11. Wow, 11. Okay. So name the above disease. Okay, this disease name is so-called shingles caused by virus. Kayap, Okay, so caused by virus. What method can be used to treat the above disease? Yeah, this is what I mentioned just now. Okay, so we have different treating medical treatment lah. Okay, based on different stuff. For bacteria, okay, you have to say antibiotic. For fungus, you have to say antifungal. Okay, for virus, antiviral. So the method used to treat the above disease is antiviral. Don't need to say any like scientific name of the antivirals. No need. Okay, just say antiviral, you can score the point already. Explain why antibiotic cannot be used to treat the above disease. So from here, you must mention antibiotic can only use to kill bacteria. It cannot kill virus. You have to say it cannot kill virus. Okay, antibacteria can only kill bacteria. Okay, 呸 antibacteria 不啦 antibiotic it cannot kill virus. Okay, it cannot kill virus lah. Antibiotik hanya dapat membunuh bacteria. Ia tidak dapat membunuh virus. So only you can score these 2 points lah. Okay. So D, patients who get antibiotic, right, always told to finish the antibiotic rather to stop taking. Okay. Even they feel better. Explain why. So from here, whenever it comes to explanation, you have to say because to prevent, you are going to prevent building, prevent the build of lah, antibiotic resistance. So the keyword in PM is rintangan antibiotic. You are going to prevent, okay, mengelakkan, mencegah, okay, peningkatan or well, it's so-called any way lah to express, okay, just to prevent the rintangan antibiotic. You are going to prevent this thing. Okay, then when it comes to the explanation, you have to explain, if you didn't finish the antibiotic, okay, so in future, the same antibiotic might not be able to kill the bacteria. Okay, you bring out the message in this way. So kalau jika tidak dihabiskan antibiotik, okay, kemungkinan tidak dapat membunuh bakteria yang sama pada masa depan. So the way to answer is like this. Okay, so you see, we answer always based on the point. Okay, so the points given in 2, you have to elaborate a little bit. If the point is given by 1, just randomly answer or state the points, then fair enough already. Okay, so tuberculosis. Okay, tuberculosis, you don't know what is tuberculosis, it doesn't matter. Okay, the point is, okay, he said he is not quarantined and not given antibiotic. Explain why the treatment for Mr. Jamal and Mr. Wong is different. Okay, so one is tuberculosis caused by bacteria. Okay, so because if you don't know it's tuberculosis, right, it's okay. But you see, given antibiotic, so at least you know tuberculosis is caused by bacteria. Meanwhile, dengue fever is caused by virus, which it has no antiviral because antiviral is specifically used to cure specific viral disease. Okay. Meanwhile, antibiotic can kill all the what is it called? Bacteria. So whenever it comes to explanation, right, you can explain this way. Mr. Jamal, Mr. Wong. You explain both of them. Okay. Then for Mr. Jamal, right, you can say, okay, like tuberculosis, okay, is what? Caused by bacteria. Then your dengue is caused by virus. From here, it worth 1 mark already. Okay, then the second mark you have to say, okay, can be cured by antibiotic. Okay, then this one cannot be cured by antibiotic. You don't need to mention any antiviral stuff, but in fact, dengue has no antiviral. Okay, you just follow the question. Not given antibiotic. Okay, so you say no need, cannot be cured by antibiotic. Okay, if you even remember what you have learned in Form 2, right, you can write into this point 1. For example, tuberculosis will be spread, so he's quarantined. Dengue will not be spread through contact, so he is not quarantined. You can write into the point as well. Okay, one is caused by contact lah. One is caused by vector, which is caused by dengue mosquito. Okay, Aedes mosquito lah. So that's why the point is here. Okay, you have to clear what you are going to write first before you write anything. Right, you have to create the structure, as I said. As you can see, I'm trying to create structure. I have to write Mr. Jama and Mr. Wong. What are the difference between them? I create the structure, only I go into the point. Then in the way, right, you feel like the way I answer the questions is much more clear, okay, compared to randomly write without any structure. Okay. Then you go to the next one is which is this one. Yeah, question number 3. This one as well, we slightly look through this question because this question less related to the previous stuff. Okay, less emphasized lah, not less related. So one is your ikan masin lah, the salted fish. Okay, one is your muffin, okay, which is very, very sweet. So name diseases that experienced by someone. This one relate to what? Relate to here. Okay, if you didn't take the food or if you eat the food excessively without any like prescription, right? Then in the end, what happened to you? Then you have to answer lor. Okay, so J is going to cause you to get hypertension. BM hypertension. If you don't know the word hypertension, you can say high blood pressure. This one is your page 17. Okay, tekanan darah tinggi. Alright, so for your K, right? This one because it's so sweet, diabetes. But the point I want to bring out, right? When you write diabetes, don't stop in diabetes. You make it complete. Diabetes mellitus. Okay, diabetes mellitus. Hold on. Okay, sorry, I'm having sneezing just now. Okay, so B, state the effect that will be suffered by an individual from the diseases. Okay, the effect actually means the characteristics lah. What is the characteristics of people having this kind of disease? Okay, what he's going to suffer even worse when he has this kind of characteristics. So for example, when you talk about high blood pressure, you can relate to stroke lor. Make it a sentence. You can say individuals having a lot of food J might have stroke. Okay, individuals that having a lot of K might lead to diabetes mellitus. Whenever you talk about this one, right, it is going to damage your kidney. So kidney failure is your answer lah. BM is also called stroke without E. But for kidney failure in BM called kerosakan ginjal. Okay, kerosakan ginjal. So I'm trying to buy time now. I don't do translation already. Okay, so yeah, Tiara used coconut oil and butter in her cooking. So which means a lot of fats. When it comes to a lot of fats in her life, right, predict the disease. Okay, so when it comes to these kind of things, fats, okay, you can say obesity. Sure, obesity is your answer as well. Okay, if you want to be more professional, yes, because of too much of fats, too much of cholesterol, in the end, you are going to deposit cholesterol in your blood vessel called as atherosclerosis. Okay, atherosclerosis means what? How can the disease in C1 occurs? You say, lor. Okay, the fats that consume will deposit in blood vessel to cause the disease. Okay, so deposit in BM called terbendak. Terbendak means accumulated lah. Okay, the fats will accumulated with terbendak, okay, in the blood vessel, in the saluran darah, okay, dan menyebabkan disease berlaku. Menyebabkan penyakit berlaku. Okay, So this one is quite important because a lot of the name, because of the name. Okay, some of the people they'll be like diabetes, then they stop already. Then marks fly away. Don't know why. Because without milliliters, mah. All right. Then one more question is, yeah, this one. Question number 5. Okay, just to bring you a message, huh? Okay, so whenever it comes to different, okay, different culture without different lack of certain nutrition, what will happen? As we said, if you lack of nitrogen, sick. Not sick, sorry, yellowish. If you lack of phosphorus, it means become alien. If you lack of nitrogen, it means become sick lah, because you have spots, not nitrogen, sorry, potassium. So you look at the question, okay, J is what? J is normal. So normal, normal growth. When it comes to lack of phosphorus, means alien ma. Okay, so the leaf appears bluish or purplish. Up to you lah. Which one you right? Also can. When it comes to L means nitrogen. Without nitrogen, then the leaf appears what? Leaf appears greenish. Sorry, greenish lah. Yellowish. Or you know, right, pale green also can. Okay, this is an observation. But this is the one I want to bring on the message. Observation doesn't really be like every time you observe the question, because color you cannot observe one. Okay, the printing coming out is always black and white. So you have to imply into yourself that, oh, actually the color is like this. You have to know by yourself. Okay, the color is like this. All right. So state the variables in the questions, right? This one, manipulated variable, you cannot copy the table already, because the table is not complete. So that's why you have to self-understand one sometimes lah. Okay. So the manipulated variable refers to what? The culture solution lah. Okay, the solution. Okay. You can say the content of culture solution. Kandungan culture. Okay, you can say something like this. For responding variable, you can write, you don't be like, oh, responding variable, observation. No lah. Okay, the responding variable refers to what? Refers to the condition of plant. Okay, the condition of maize seedling. Okay, so this is your responding variable lah. So what I'm trying to tell you, right, is what? Try to be not to say try to be more smooth lah in your exam. Okay, you don't be like very, very stubborn. Oh, okay, left hand side must be manipulative variable, right hand side must be responding variable. Somehow I ask you to double check, right? You double check with the question. Okay, you make yourself more flexible whenever it comes to these kind of questions. Okay, don't be like too struggling on something lah. All right, format-based stuff is format-based stuff. The responding variable need to write after 10 days or not? No need. No need. But if you put it right, also correct. Okay, if God put 10 days can be accepted. Okay, if comes without 10 days also can be accepted. Both of the answers is correct. Okay, when the question says okay, state the function of boiling tube J. Okay, this one the question asks you why we need to have something normal. Okay, the reason is very simple. To see difference, right or not? To observe difference with other samples. Okay, you are going to see the difference between the normal one with other samples. This is why you need to have the function of boiling tube J. To compare with other samples. To compare with other samples can. Okay, one more thing we have to go through. Why are the boiling tube covered with black paper? Okay, you see, they cover black paper. This one is quite popular as well. They cover black paper because why? Because they want to prevent the growth of algae. Okay, you can say to prevent penetration of sunlight and stimulate, okay, and stimulate the growth of algae. Okay, wait, my screen is stop sharing. Wait, I reshare my screen. My screen is lagging. Okay, so you see, to prevent penetration of sunlight and stimulate the growth of algae, because if sunlight got penetrate into your test tube, right, algae will start growing. When algae start growing, your experiment is not fair because algae is trying to compete the nutrition. That's not fair lah. Okay, so we put black paper because the sunlight cannot penetrate and stimulate the growth of algae. This one, somehow you have to take note lah. Okay, state the conclusion of the experiment. So the conclusion is what? Phosphorus and nitrogen is necessary for the growth of maize seedling. Okay, so phosphorus and nitrogen are necessary for growth of maize seedling. You can go through in this way. Okay, so in BM lah, phosphorus dan nitrogen adalah not adalah phosphorus and nitrogen diperlukan untuk pertumbuhan anak benih jagung. Okay, you try to express your answer in this way. All right. So anyway, okay, in your future revision, if you have encountered any issue, theoretically or technically, whatever lah, okay, as long as regarding your revision or regarding your exam, you wish to find a way to solve your issue, okay, feel free to approach me. This is my contact number. You can just WhatsApp me whenever it is necessary. Okay, so I'll be there to help you lah. All right. So let's call a day for this seminar today. Anyway, thanks for attending class. All the best on doing your revision lah. All right. So thank you for today. Bye bye.
张老师。
Okay, bye bye. Thank you. Thank you.